I didn't feel that sense of confidence and strength within myself to be able to manage my life and take care of me. Like I didn't feel strong at all. So part of me was initially, it was like, okay, I got to make myself physically strong. Now, as a teenager, obviously, right? That's where our head's at, right? And what I came to understand over time is like, no, this isn't really about me getting physically strong. I mean, it is. It's more about getting mentally and emotionally strong for life's challenges, because we all go through challenges in life.
All right, welcome back, Wellness Ninjas, to another episode of the Wellness Dojo Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Craik, and super excited to have my man Marlon here. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate being on here.
I'm super pumped. It's good. We were just talking. It's good to have a fellow martial artist, fellow fitness enthusiast and professional on the show, and I think it's just going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's in my audience that maybe doesn't know who you are, can you tell them a little bit about you?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Marlon Wilson. I'm a medical exercise specialist. Now, for probably a lot of you have no idea what that means. So medical exercise specialist is someone who deals with post-rehab. So when somebody is coming out of surgery or preparing for surgery or dealing with chronic pain, I'm the guy that helps people mitigate those situations and ideally improve it using exercise. I'm also a holistic nutritionist, so I also use nutrition principles, life coaching, and then, yes, martial arts. I use elements of that within it. So, and the in layman's terms, medical exercise specialist, personal trainer, and then I have more added on there that people don't expect, because people watch me train, they're like, well, you're a physiotherapist. I'm like, well, no, actually I'm not, because physiotherapists diagnose, they treat, they use needling, massage. I don't do any of those things at all. It's outside my scope of practice. So I focus on the exercise component, everything that's intertwined in that. And as well, because I'm certified as a holistic nutritionist, I also go through things like lifestyle, supplement recommendations. I also work with other medical professionals too. So I work with chiros, massage, physios, osteopaths, like anybody who works with a client, I'm there to work with them to enhance their quality of life. Mm-hmm. And then going with that, so now you've got an idea of the things that I do, which is why generally when people ask me in person, they say, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm a Freedom Facilitator. And what a Freedom Facilitator is for me is I'm the person who helps people identify the blocks that are getting them in their own way of feeling a sense of freedom in their life. And then I use it using those modalities.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that you describe it in such a holistic way of the industry being holistic, like this field being holistic with fitness, with nutrition, and working together with other professions, because at the end of the day, it's the client, the person who's coming to see you, who needs your help. They're the ones that are important. It's their goals that are most important. And how else can we do that unless we approach it in a way where we are kind of a collective in that holistic way?
I totally believe in that. Like for me, I'm like, I'm only one man. I can't do everything. Like I don't have skills in massage. I don't have skills in Reiki. I don't have skills in psychology. Like as far as being a psychologist, that's not my skill set. At the same time, when I see a client struggling, right, and I can feel their energy, like I can see them and I can feel the challenges they're trying to rise to the occasion to, but they don't have the gist of it. I'm like, you know what? I don't have the skills, but you know what? I have this wide base of network of people that I can connect them to. Why would I not want to work with them to help the client succeed? For me, the goal is I want the client to leave feeling that they are improving, that they're making progress all the time. So for me, that means working with other people, because I don't know everything. I'm really intelligent. I know a lot of stuff. And at the same time, I need other people that are going to help me help them identify the blocks that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, I think that is very appreciated when somebody works with you, right? Like if you've ever gone to see somebody and they refer you to somebody good, that's really helpful. It only makes them want to work with you more, right?
Totally.
Because it shows that you have their best interests. You're not just trying to be everything for everyone.
No, and I can't be, right? Like I'm not, like I'm there. It's like, oh no, I'm here to add the value that I can. And now what are and who are other people that can add value to them, right? Because that's what's going to help build trust. When I send somebody to them, I want to make sure that they're getting the best service possible, right? Even so, I was selling these supplements for a while. I won't name the company, that doesn't matter. But one of the things I noticed is when I was comparing products that I had initially recommended to my clients and the clients that I was going to start selling, I was like, oh shoot. I was like, the ones that I was recommending to them before are more like, they're better than the ones that I'm going to sell them. And I'm like, in the highest integrity, I can't do that. It's not, I was telling a friend of mine that the other day, because she wanted to buy some stuff from me. And I told her, I was like, no, frankly, I'm like, if you want something, I want to make sure that you're getting the best stuff possible. I want to make sure your quality of life is enhanced. It is a disservice if I'm just giving you something less just to make money. I don't care about that. I mean, obviously it's important that I make a living, but at the same time, I need to be able to look at myself in the mirror and go, I'm like, did I give my very best to them? If I looked in the mirror and I'm like, no, I didn't, that's not living a life fulfilled to me.
Yeah. And that's, I think, really highlights authenticity within the profession, right? Yeah.
Totally.
So what are some of the main things that you're seeing with people? You said you work with a lot of people who are coming for like rehabilitation after surgeries, after...
Totally. So a lot of people, so I do work on people, getting prepared for surgery, after surgery. What I end up generally getting is a lot of the cases that are really challenging in a sense that they've been dealing with chronic pain for a long time. I would say the majority of the people that I work with are people that are struggling with chronic pain. They've seen other health practitioners and haven't been able to get any results. They haven't made any progression. So they've made a little bit, but they're just not getting to that next place. So I would say a lot of people that I work with are those people who are not gym people. I was having a conversation about this with a client of mine yesterday. I'm not looking to work with people who are like gym people who are really accustomed to gyms, know what they're doing, because already then when they already know what they're doing, then what value am I going to add? You already know what you're doing. You don't need me, right? But if I have someone who's say, you know what, I'm looking to improve my imbalances. I'm looking to reduce my aches and pains. I'm looking to increase my longevity in this next phase of my life. I have a new guy that starts with me today. It's his second workout. And that's what he said to me when he came. He's like, I'm not really a gym guy. I'm like, great. That's awesome, because your cup's empty. You're the type of person I want to work with. Somebody who's tired of being in pain, someone who's deconditioned, doesn't really know their way around a gym, and you're afraid and you want to feel that sense of that confidence and autonomy over your life.
Yeah. And that's so huge, right?
It's massive.
Especially for somebody who doesn't have that confidence to go and even do a squat. Like so many people, they just don't feel confident. They're scared it's going to hurt too much. Or because it's hurt in the past, like those types of things. It's so huge to just even build that little bit of confidence that like I can use my body.
You could use it properly. And that's what a lot of it, what I do is I'm teaching people how to use their body correctly, right? Getting them to use the right muscles and the right movement patterns. Teach them proper body mechanics. It's funny how you mentioned the squat. A new lady, she's never been a gym person, hates the gym. And she's at a point in her life where she needs to come and exercise. She has to take care of her body because she's dealing with some back pain. She's dealing with degenerative disc disease. She's dealing with aches and pains now at 43 where she just like, okay, now I have to do something about this because now I'm hurting. She moved, give you perspective. My mom, who's 70, who trains with me, this 43-year-old who's a year younger than me, she moves worse than my mom, who's 70. My mom is much stronger and better condition than she is. And my mom's only been training with me for 15 years. And it's funny, going back to the squat. So with her, I've only had her do one set of squats so far. And it was so funny watching. She's like, what am I doing? I'm squatting. I'm like, yeah, you're squatting. Yes, you have to learn how to squat properly. Like, I don't like it. I still have a video. I took a video of it because I was like, this is priceless. Yeah. But it was like, no, like you are capable. Now it's just getting you to teach you to use the right muscles to go through that movement pattern. And she came out of it. I was like, so is there anything hurting? Like, do you have any sharp shake pain? She's like, no, I don't like it. I'm like, well, this movement, that's part of life. We squat all the time when we get up out of bed, when we get up out of a toilet, when we get up off of a chair. It's squatting.
Yeah, it is. It's like one of those like foundational movements that we have to have that will either make or break us into our older age.
Yeah, because we do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when somebody tells me it's like, don't squat, I'm like, really? Well, then how do you get out in a car and get out of it? Yeah. Like, how do you, like, all your basic life activities dictate you being able to do a squat?
Yeah. And it's funny too, because when you become injured is when you start to realize how much you use something, right? It's like if you've ever hurt like your wrist or something, and all of a sudden you realize like how much you use, even with your phone, the little things that you use those muscles for when they're hurt.
I've broken both thumbs, and both of them I couldn't use for 2 months. And let me tell you, that was like, it's just the thumb, but that was massive. Like, a lot of things that I couldn't do. So the one on my right hand, that's my writing hand. It's my dominant hand. And on the left one, like, it's not my dominant hand, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that I would do with this one. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, it pretty much shut down my whole arm.
Yeah. I know when I was working as a massage therapist for many years, I was doing martial arts as well. And I would go to tournaments and stuff. And there's times like I would like hurt my wrist, or like I dislocated my shoulder and stuff. And it was like, I still had to work. So like I couldn't just like take months off for my shoulder to heal. So I was like finding ways, and you start to, all the little things, you start to realize what we take for granted.
Oh, right? It's funny how you mention, or interesting how you mentioned about the dislocated shoulder. So I dislocated my shoulder back in 2022. Now, when I dislocated it, I started my new holistic nutritional consultant program at school, like that week after. And when I dislocated, it was on a Sunday at a kickboxing tournament. I had to be at work the next day because I'm a solopreneur. I have to go in there and train my clients. So I came in, my client's like, "Are you sure you should take some time off?" I'm like, "Well, I can't," because I'm like, this is my way of life. This is my living. I'm like, I don't have a choice. And in those first 2 months of me dislocating it, like, that was brutal. It's not like the movies where they just shove the shoulder back in its joint and it's like, you're good to go. It doesn't work that way. For 2 months, I was sleeping in my recliner chair because I couldn't sleep in my bed. I couldn't get comfortable. And I was probably getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night while going to school. I haven't been in school in like 15 years. So going back to school, doing school, which is not something that's super comfortable for me and I'm not the best at, and running a business, and I was teaching martial arts. Like, holy, like, I think back and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I got through that. Yeah. Like, it's like a blur.
It is. It's amazing. I'm the same way, all these injuries and stuff. And you realize like what we're capable of overcoming, which is important. But also I think there's value in the fact that we had to keep using it. And so it forces you, because it's really easy, like we were saying before, to go, oh, my shoulder hurts, I'm just going to stop using it until it feels better. It's like, well, no, like, there's a lot of evidence and research now that's showing that it's so important to actually use it for it to get better.
Yeah, like, right? You have to move. Like, I run into these situations, like talking about working with our medical practitioners, where they say, it's like, okay, they tell a lot of my clients, okay, don't move. And I'm like, that's the worst advice. I'm like, you need to move. It's just about the strategy on how you move, right? Because I say to people, I'm like, well, don't you have to get up out of bed? Don't you have to go to work? Like, you have to do things. You have to move. So how about we learn how to move correctly? It's not about not moving. It's about the methodology. That's what's more important.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I want to hear about your journey to this career path. I want to hear like what got you here. How did you start and what got you here? Let's hear about the journey.
Yeah, it's quite a journey. So I started lifting when I was 16 years old, high school gym, grade 10. And I remember the first day I went in there, picked up a set of weights. I was like, oh, I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life. Like, I really want to do this. And actually, even before that, I would say I had a vision of what health and longevity looked like when I think I can't remember, somewhere between 8 and 12. Can't really remember the timeline because there was a lot going on around the household at the time that was really deconstructive. And one time on the news, where there was actually something positive, there was this 100-year-old man. He was playing baseball, flexed his bicep in the mirror, and I was like, holy, like, as a kid, as like somewhere between 8 and 12, I was like, wow, that guy's 100 years old. And he's like fit as an ox. Like, just, I was super impressed. I was like, and then I remember when I saw that, I was like, how do I get to that vision? And then when I got to high school, grade 10, started lifting, I was like, oh, this is what the guy started with, right? So then from there, I just trained. I was in the gym like 5 times a week, like whether it would be the high school gym. My mom got a recreational gym membership for all of us as a family. So I went between the high school gym, that one. I would go to Eau Claire Market gym because they had like it was a $2 drop-in on a Friday. It was like a school night. It was like unheard of for a drop-in. Like, you would never find that anymore these days. But back then, It was $2 for that, and it was $2 for the bus, because it was $1 for the bus there and back. So I would intermingle between all three of those, and I used to just, I love going to different gyms. I love the variety, and I'd find just different training partners. That's how I started to really meet people and get outside my comfort zone. Like I used to watch guys train, like especially some of the older guys. I used to see how they do stuff, and I asked them questions. And I was always curious. I really wanted to know more about lifting and how to, get that, model physique. And I used to look at muscle and fitness magazines, Flex, and just talk to different guys about it, talk to different trainers about programs. And I was just enthralled with it. I was just like, wow. And amongst that too, I was actually planning on getting on to police service or fire department, one of the two, going to school. And with that, when I got to the end of schooling and I finished everything, I applied, and I found out like, well, no, you don't have normal binocular vision, so you can't. And it was the same for fire department. So I was like, oh, shoot. So that hit me like a ton of bricks, because besides all the training, I was like, I was just like, oh, and I've been told you'll never make the money in the industry. You're wasting your time. So I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe it'll be a good side gig, right? So I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, let's do police or fire, and let's do some side, personal training, maybe even, and I started to teach martial arts or do martial arts, like maybe do some martial arts on the side. We'll see, right? But then when I couldn't get on to police or the fire department, I'm like, well, what's the fallback plan? I'm like, what's plan C? I'm like, well, personal training. I'm like, you know what, let's give this a go. So my first client was my first martial arts instructor's wife at the time. So I trained her, and I was like, wow. I was like, this is interesting. And I loved it, except I love the actual mechanical side of training a client. I love being in gyms. I loved hanging around there. I was also challenged with like, wow, like this is cool. Now I see what people are talking about it being really challenging to do well in the industry as far as getting clients. So I worked with a couple of trainers underneath them, training clients and, learning the ropes. Like I spent I've been doing it in the industry for now just over 20 years. I spent the first 15 years being mentored by a lot of them. So, because people come to me and like, where did you go to school? Well, I went to Mount Royal University. I got my personal fitness trainer certificate there for a couple of years, along with when I was getting my Bachelor of Justice Studies. And I also took a post-rehab course through an instructor, which is why I'm a medical exercise specialist based out of California. He's out of Texas right now. So I got that. I even took the basic AFLCA, the weekend course, and I took up all the other things. Yeah. And a lot of what I've learned is just being hands-on working with trainers, people who've been doing it for decades. That's where it's gotten me to the level I've worked with. And I remember at the time, like I would, when I first started training, I just, work people really hard because I really want to get people in shape. And then I started to see my clients struggling with pain and injuries. And then I wasn't able to keep clients. And then one of my mentors said to me, he's like, you need to start learning to help clients build their foundation and help people deal with pain. And I was like, I don't want to do that. He's like, you may not want to do that, but that's the way things are going. And that's where you actually start to make your money. Because he's basically said to me, he's like, you can go for those people who just want to get in shape and all that kind of stuff. But he's like, there's no money in that. He's like, you can try that.
Yeah. Longevity.
Yeah. He's like, you won't get a lot of people coming for that. He's like, when you can get someone to leave the session feeling less pain, that's when you really start adding value. He's like, that's when you made a difference in your life. And I was really resistant for a long time, except when I started to see what he was talking about when I'd work with clients, and I could see the change in them, in their bioenergetic field is probably the best way I could say it. Like, it wouldn't necessarily be the words they say. It would see the lightness in their energy coming out of that session where it's like, oh. And then I just started working that over and over and over again. And then I went out on my own 5 years ago, right at the heart of COVID, not an ideal time, where I started to do on my own. And I went on my own simply because I couldn't find a stable place to work at, because every place was opening and shutting. But I had these people that wanted training. So I was like, okay, well, let me just start training you guys at your house. So I opened up my own practice, driving to people's homes for the first 2 years. And then I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this because it's tiring when you're driving from one house to the other. It's so exhausting. I still get people once in a while ask me if I do it. And I'm like, yeah, I can. that's going to be double the price easily, if not a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it's not only the time driving there, it's the time driving there, it's wear and tear on my gas, and it's wear and tear on me.
Yeah.
Like, it is so energy draining to go from one place to the other.
Yeah.
Like, something people don't realize until they experience it. It's like, when you're doing that day after day, it's tiring, especially, you know, going into my 40s, and I don't feel old. And at the same time, I'm like, holy, like, I'm not 25 anymore.
Yeah.
Like, to be doing that now, I'm like, that's really hard.
Mobile hits different. Like, I was doing mobile for massage therapy for many years. And like, even just lugging the table around and doing that type of thing, like, it is a lot different than being in one place, having the client come in and out kind of thing. There's it's a whole different beast, right?
Oh, massive. Now, so now I got a gym that I've been working at for the last 3 years now. And now I'm like, no. I'm like, and even this gym, I could work at they have 2 locations, but I still tell my clients, I'm like, no, you want to see me? You come here. I'm not driving from one location to the other. I'm like, it's too tiring. I'm like, you guys can find the way to make it there. If you really found value in what I do, make the drive. And I do have clients that make the drive. I have clients that drive 25 minutes to 45 minutes away to come see me. So I know I'm adding value. So then, like, when I started to go on my own 5 years ago, then I was really, because I wasn't working with coaches as much anymore, then I started really coming into my own as far as my understanding of the way the body moves and seeing the changes of them. And then I would still, you know, talk to different practitioners, ask them questions, obviously. And then I started to really see, I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm starting to get the framework of how this is supposed to go. So now it's not hard. It's like breathing for me. It's not super challenging anymore. I can just, I literally can come in, I'm not suggesting this, but if I haven't had any sleep that night, let's just say, because I'm dealing with other stressful factors, I can come in and still bring my A game, because I'm like, okay, I know this like the back of my hand. I'm like, you have this, and this going on. Okay, let's do this, and this. And then I just go.
Experience is there.
Totally.
Yeah, and it is super valuable when you look at body mechanics and just trying to fix even those more intricate things within movement, how much more you actually do see results long term.
Totally.
Like, it's kind of like that thing where it's like the short term boringness of trying to dial down your movements and get all those things right, the mobility and all that. But then once you get that, once the client gets that, you definitely do start to see results that, at least in my experience working with clients as well, you start to see faster results over time when you've kind of committed that thing. And that's like a martial arts thing too.
Totally.
Right?
It's about building the foundation. You build the foundation like a house, so make sure there's no leaks or cracks in it, so water doesn't seep through, right? Because we talk about a lot of that in martial arts. Once you set that foundation, then you can build up from there, and the things you can do out there are endless. Then we can get into the nice, fun, spicy, exciting stuff. But unfortunately, people want to start there, and I'm like, no, that's not the way to start. If you want to get strong and into this next phase of your life, that's the way you have to do it. There's one client, he's in his late 50s right now, and he's in better shape than he was 20 years ago. And he's like, he's like, I should have been doing this like a long time ago, because now he's starting to see. And we spent those first 2 to 3 years working on his foundation, because he had all these injuries, so much stress in his life. And now he's like, he's balancing on a Bosu, passing medicine balls back and forth. He's doing a single leg squat on a Bosu. He's like, the things that he's doing now, he's like, well, I can't believe I'm doing this. He's like, this is crazy. And it's like, well, yeah, because we've built that. So it's interesting. So there's an athletic therapist that's been working on him, because he's dealing with some pain in his elbow, right? Long-term issue that he's had for a while. And with anything, you deal with one injury, then another one pops up. You deal with another injury, another one pops up, right? So this is one that he's neglected, not intentionally. It's just now this is one that's surfacing more than some of the other ones, because we resolved the other ones. So now that this one's coming in, he's like, oh, so he's seeing this athletic therapist, and the athletic therapist told him, it's like, you're in better shape than a lot of athletes I see. And she sees younger athletes. Like, he could be their dad, and he's in better shape than them. Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, because I told him, like, because we've spent the time.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. You mentioned growing up, it wasn't, you mentioned the household wasn't fantastic for you.
No, totally.
I'm curious if that had an impact towards how you gravitated towards fitness and lifting. Was that something that kind of gave you, was there any relation to that? And then I also want to ask about mentorship, because you mentioned that too. And if that also, where the relation is there.
Absolutely. So definitely fitness and training, definitely related to my deconstructive environment living at home. I lived in I won't go through all the details, obviously. I will say, though, it was, a very abusive, situation as far as mentally, emotionally, physically, thankfully not sexually. But all the other ones, like, it was just, I didn't feel that sense of confidence and strength within myself to be able to manage my life and take care of me. Like, I didn't feel strong at all. So part of me was, initially, it was like, okay, I got to make myself physically strong. Now, as a teenager, obviously, right, that's where our head's at, right? And what I came to understand over time, it was like, no, this isn't really about me getting physically strong. I mean, it is. It's more about getting mentally and emotionally strong for life's challenges, because we all go through challenges in life, especially as we get older. Like anybody, there's not anybody that can say they don't go through challenges. I have had a couple clients here and there that have said, like, oh, never went through challenges. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, okay, well, one's coming. Because when that one comes, you better be prepared, because it comes to us all. While you're breathing, you're going to get challenges. So for me, training was my starting place for feeling that sense of confidence in myself, to be able to look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, I look fit, I look strong. And from there, that got me to explore other things, like other mentors. What other things do I need beyond training? And some of the mentors that I've had, coaches, have told me that, okay, that's good. Now you got to work on your mental and emotional strength. You have to start doing meditation. You have to start doing affirmations or incantations. You have to start journaling. You have to start processing your emotions, doing some belief repatterning. There's all kinds of things. I've also done biofeedback analysis, where I'm, changing programs that have been written for years that have been deconstructive. Like, with one of my coaches, I spent probably well over 1,000 hours on his biofeedback machine, just looking to reprogram my system. I spent thousands of hours working on belief repatterning, journaling, reading, writing, audio journaling, like so much. Like, it got me to explore so many things and to see how health is more than just physicality. Yeah. So the last, I would say 15 years is where I've really started to evolve and tap more into, it's not about just the training, it's overall health. Yeah. There is so much more to health than meets the eye. Because people even maybe look at me on Instagram like, wow, you're fit, I want to look like you. It's just like, you have no idea what it's taken for me to get to this place that I'm at right now. Like, I've been training for about 3 decades right now, and not just physically training. Like, I spend a lot of time, like, give you perspective. So I train 5 days a week, hour and a half each day. That's just resistance training. I do martial arts probably another 10 hours a week, and a yoga another 3 hours a week. And then I do standing meditation, 5 minutes, 4 times a day, 1 15-minute. I do Qigong, 30 minutes a day. And I throw in some Tai Chi in there. And then from there, I journal periodically. Now, there's not really a set time for that. One's more when I'm called to. So I spend time journaling. I spend my time going for walks, listen to audiobooks. Like, I'm always about stimulating my mind so I can move to the next level, not to compete against anybody else, to better myself. Because often it's said that it's more important that we're better than we are yesterday. Right? My only competition is the guy that I wake up and look in the mirror in the morning. That's the guy that I'm aiming to be. I'm aiming to be, like I originally talked about, that 100-year-old man that I saw in that news station, where he flexed his bicep, he had that sense of confidence, that strength, that vitality, that vibrancy. That's what I'm after. And I'm all about growing and continuously moving and feeling for what is needed for me to bring the best version of myself forward, for me primarily, and to everybody else.
When you're having these mentors who are kind of helping you engage in some of these practices, are these martial arts instructors that have done that? I ask because
totally,
I find it really interesting, because growing up in martial arts, like, I started when I was 5 years old. I'm 35 now, so I've been doing it for 30 years. But I don't ever really remember my instructor explicitly, like, talking about the mindset stuff like I do, or the emotional regulation like I do. It was all just kind of learned in practice. But I think you highlighted that as well, because I think we underestimate sometimes how our bodies will automatically bring that holisticness together. holisticness, if that's a word.
Yeah, totally. We can call it a word.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So this is my show. I can call it a word if I want to.
Yeah. Do you, man. It's awesome. I love it.
But it's like, it's very interesting how our bodies kind of automatically bring that holistic piece together, right? You start doing the physical work and you start to almost feel more pulled to the mental. It starts to help the mental. You do that mental work, your workouts are better. There is this a kind of automatic holistic being that starts to come together.
Totally. Like in my martial arts career, so I've been doing it for 25 plus years right now, and I've only had really 2 instructors over the course of this period that have, and I've had several instructors, and I still have, like, all of them that I have, they're all amazing. I appreciate all of them. Only really 2, actually, now that I think about 3 or 4 have really gotten into that as far as the mental and emotional part. But the rest of it, a lot of them haven't really tapped into. They deal with just the physicality. Yeah. So, and having said that, the ones that I have I've learned from, they've gotten me to be more open to looking into those things. If it not been for them, I wouldn't have been as open to, like, maybe I need to look at what's going on from my past, looking at some of my emotional scars. Maybe I wouldn't have looked into it. So you're right. It is kind of embedded within martial arts. Like, people don't realize martial arts is, I mean, the number of times we're going to get into a fist fight outside of, the dojo is very minute, especially for somebody like me. I'm 6'3", 210, 215, right? Dark-skinned guy. Most people look at me and, just by the look of me, I'm a deterrent just based on my size and strength. They're like, oh, do we really want to take a chance, right?
Yeah.
Plus, I don't go to those shady areas. Like, I go to martial arts places. I go to yoga studios. I don't go to clubs.
And you have intuition from martial arts that kind of helps you with that. Like, I'm going to avoid that area because that looks sketchy. Yeah,
like, we have a sense of sensitivity. Like, you've been doing it a long time as such, like me. So, because we're always touching and we're feeling, not just feeling people, we're feeling energy. We know it's just like, this is probably not the right place for me. Like, I don't have a good sense about it. And because of that, that's gotten me to explore more than that. It's like, what else is out there more for me to experience?
Yeah, and I think that's a power. I think a lot of times that's looked at as like, oh, you're just like, are you scared or are you just avoiding? It's like, no. It's a strength to avoid that, because I don't actually want to hurt other people. I don't want to get hurt, just like I don't want to hurt. And so if we can avoid those situations altogether,
100%.
I mean, it's just net positive for everybody.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, I got into martial arts because I want to feel more confidence in myself, and because there was a part of me, as a young man, 19, even though I was older then, but not quite a kid, I was still like, okay, I want to make sure I'm protecting myself from somebody trying to hurt me, because I was hurt quite a bit growing up. But then it got into, I'm like, well, I'm not getting into fights with people outside. I'm like, I need to actually just feel strong within, so that I can handle situations like saying no to somebody, right? Putting up boundaries, something that we're hearing about now, and which is great. And the other thing is to be consistent about implementing them, and to know when our yes is a whole body yes, and to act on it, and not let fear get us in the way of acting on it, where we're just like, no, this is about living. In order to do that, I need to act on my yeses, act on my nos, set up limitations where I'm like, no, that doesn't serve me. Right. And that is both serving to me and that's serving to the other person.
I agree. I believe the art part of martial arts as well is the practice that you have of the mental aspects. What I mean by that is, my instructor, I don't recall a lot of talk about resiliency and being disciplined and looking at other perspectives in life and those mindset pieces that I've really taken away from the sport and from the art. But the real art of it is that those things were practiced without even like consciously acknowledging them.
Totally.
In a way.
Yeah.
And so I practice resilience by going to competitions, by, sometimes getting my ass kicked and then having to like find that in me of like, do I go back and practice it and work harder, or do I quit?
Yes.
Like, those things are practice, and those things translate into everyday life without really logically understanding it in the moment.
100%. Like, one of the things I talk about, and I think we've talked about this before, like in jiu-jitsu, Like when I go into jiu-jitsu and we're doing, so we do, the first half hour of class is just working on skills. The last half hour we do 4 to 5 6-minute rounds where we're actually now implementing. A lot of times I'm getting crushed. Like I'm getting, where we use smash, where it's really hard. And then I come out of it and I'm like, okay, I didn't die. I'm okay. I made it through it. And one of the things that my professor said at the jiu-jitsu school that I go to, he's like, when you get through a class here, it makes everything else in your life seem less hard, because life is hard. It's very challenging for all of us, our relationships, business, for those of you who have children, just life in general is very challenging. And we have to be able to build that resilience within to rise to those challenges. And that's what martial arts does for me. I'm like, okay, I got through this. Or when I go to boxing and get punched in the face, I'm like, okay, I got punched in the face, but I'm okay. You know what? Nothing's broken. I'm still alive. Let's keep going, right? Take the hits, let them roll off of us, and then get back in. And then know when to pull back. And it's like, you know what? This is my time to step away, to disengage, and then re-engage when the timing is appropriate.
I was just driving with my daughter yesterday, and I mentioned to her, because her and I went to compete at Nationals back in May. And 10 days before Nationals, I was at a training session for Team Alberta, and I got a sidekick slipped up, caught me in the jaw, and I dislocated my jaw. I was so pissed. I was like, damn. And I said to my daughter, I'm like, man, like I remember how much that hurt. Like even going into Nationals, the competition, like it was still so painful. I was like worried about my jaw. I'm like, I don't want to get hit again. But then sitting there driving in the car, I'm like, it doesn't hurt at all right now. Like it feels fine. I still get stiff sometimes, and like, you know how injuries are. But I'm like, it feels fine. And it's cool to be able to reflect back on that. And you don't have to be in martial arts to do that. Anybody who's listening to this can look back in any situation in their life, whether it's a physical injury, something they went through mentally or emotionally, and be like, it doesn't feel like that anymore. And that's a sign of growth. That's a sign that you are capable of moving forwards and healing and growing and becoming better, and you can get through these things in life. I think it's so important for people to look at that, right? Because it's those, I remember David Goggins talks about this. He talks about his cookie jar moments. Right? Those are we need to appreciate those moments, because those cookie jar moments are what helps us get through other challenges in our life. And I remember when I first heard that from him, I was like, and I started to think back of all the moments and all the challenges that I've been through. And I was like, right. So when a new challenge comes up, I'm like, hey, you remember you got through jiu-jitsu? Remember how you got through, your breakup with your ex who, you were engaged to be married? Remember how you got through what you went through living at home? You got through those. Okay, well, we're going to get through this one too, just like we did all those other ones. Those are all cookie jar moments. Yeah, I love that. Okay, I have a fun question for you.
Cool.
So I always ask my guests to leave a question for the next guest. And so I'm going to read you the question that my last guest left for you.
Okay, sounds good.
They didn't know it was going to be you, but...
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, if you could go back in time, what 3 pieces of advice would you give the 18-year-old you?
3 pieces of advice where I give the 18-year-old me. Slow down.
That's one I keep giving myself even right now.
Makes me emotional thinking that. But the first one is slow down. Not everything has to be fast. You have more time than you realize. Slow down. Second one, breathe. Breathe deep. Trust that it will be okay. And then, just keep moving. No matter what happens, keep moving. As much as things get challenging, just keep moving, keep breathing, and slow down.
Can I ask you about slow down?
Yeah, absolutely. I find, so in life, everything is moving so fast, I find for me. And everybody wants, and I'm going to say actually me, I want things to happen yesterday. Things in life, especially great things, anything great in life, whether that's your business thriving intimate relationship, thriving relationship with your children, thriving relationship with friends, business, anything in life. We all want it to happen yesterday, and greatness takes time. We have to be really willing to be patient, slow down, be present for what's actually happening rather than going to our reactive tendencies of our fears of what has happened in the past, and to trust that things have the opportunity to be better than we can ever even imagine. And in order to trust that and to believe in that possibility, we have to slow down. We have to be present. If we're not, we'll miss all the amazingness of what's present right before us.
I think that's beautifully said.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you have one example of a time when you felt yourself the need to slow down and that it benefited you?
Oh, so many occasions. I'm just going to use martial arts as my first instinct. So right now I've been training with a new instructor for the last 2 years. And for the first 23 years, I had all these programs of how fighting was. I learned all these forms and all these patterns. And I got to a stage 2 years ago where I had a conversation with my new instructor. And he's like, "You're good." And he's like, "You could still be a lot better." He's like, there's just, you haven't been given the tools to properly learn how to fight. And it's true. I didn't feel like if somebody were to come and fight me on the street, like I had skills, but it was all forms. It was all based on preconceived conditions. But as far as just the randomness of a fight, no clue, like not at all. And I find when I've had that patterning, because it's ingrained to me at a cellular level, to change that pattern, so hard, very challenging now at 44. It's not an easy thing physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I have to really check my ego at the door. And one of the tools that has helped me when I'm learning something new from him or anybody that I'm working with is I have to slow down. I can't go fast, because if I go fast, I'll go right back to those old patterns. So for me, when I'm learning a new skill in martial arts or looking to repattern something, I have to slow it down first and to build that new cellular memory in there to overwrite the old pattern. And then as I start to get it slower, then I can start picking up the pace.
Yeah.
That's probably the best example for me, that I share that because that's been one of the hardest parts for me over the last 2 years. And I've had to walk away from a lot of different people to do it too. A lot of people were really upset with me for that. And a lot of people probably still are upset with me for that. Don't understand it. Don't agree with it. And it's like, well, this isn't about you. This is about me, my growth and moving forward. This is about developing myself so that I can feel that confidence within me, because in the atmospheres that I was in, I was not feeling that. There was no sense of confidence, and I'm not getting what I need from the environment, which means, and one of the things that if you ever get a chance to listen to Joe Dispenza's work, so in his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, he talks about, in order to change some of those old patterns, change is hard for a lot of us. In order to change, one of the things we have to do is, one, gain new knowledge. So that's what I did by learning from a new instructor. The other thing that's super important is you got to change your environment. You have to leave your comforts of your environment to grow. In order to, if you want to get strong, strength and toughness comes from an uncomfortable environment. It does not come from a place of comfort. And that's a hard thing for people to wrap their heads around. Because well, I love these people and I want to be around them. I've left people that I've loved too. I still love them dearly. Every single day, I think about them often. I will not forget about them. They're still dear in my heart. They always will be. If they reach out for me, like, hey, want to go for coffee, lunch, dinner or something? Yeah, sure, I'm in for that. And it's under the understanding that I'm like, I still need to go this way for myself, for my own growth. If either you're walking with me or please move. Yeah. Because I need to go this way.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think that the way I view relationships, whether it's friendships, romantic, whatever, anybody who crosses paths with me in my life, I really do believe that it's there for me. Whether it was a good experience, whether it started good, ended good, started bad, ended bad, whatever. Yeah. It was there for me. Yeah. And everything is an opportunity for reflection on yourself. How do I handle this? What did this teach me? Totally. What opportunity did this give me for my growth? And because of that, I can be grateful for all the good and bad experiences that I've had in my life.
Totally.
I also just want to kind of validate one of the things that you said, because it's something that I see consistently. I think it's why people in martial arts struggle so much with wanting to learn the forms, the routines, because it does require you to slow down, repeat, consistency, be disciplined in the foundations. And that is not easy for us in this fast-paced world. We want to fight. We want to learn to fight. That's quick. That's fast. I can learn this. They want to learn more. It's like, no. You can't learn more until you perfect this part of it.
And that's the part too that I am grateful for learning the forms. Like, as much as I still didn't feel that sense of confidence, I'm still feel really grateful and fortunate for that learn, because it did lay down a really good foundation for me. And that stuff was not a waste of time. It was still a really good investment for me. I will never take that away. There's no regrets. I appreciate it all, because it's led me to be at the place that I'm at. And I also have the understanding, like, okay, that was good. Now, in order to evolve to the next stage, I have to move beyond the form. Like, I need to now. I can't just be spending time doing forms, because then I'm just staying where I am or regressing, which is the more concerning thing.
Well, and then the foundations become comfortable too. Right?
Totally.
And so, this has been a super fun conversation. I've loved it.
Ditto.
It feels like time is just like flying by. I want to make sure, is there anything that you were hoping to say that we haven't gotten a chance to get into yet?
What have I got into talking about martial arts? I think that's pretty much it. Nutrition's coming to my mind too, because a lot of people don't understand. Like for me to get my nutrition certificate, like, that was really hard. Like, school is not an easy thing for me. When you grow up in a very challenging household, school is very challenging, because you don't feel that sense of safety and stability. So for me, having to go back and do that was also building resilience. And that's the part that training in martial arts has gotten me to, is to go back to school and to do those things that are uncomfortable. I needed to go back to see, I'm like, okay, let's challenge myself again. What's the next level? And that's a big part of everything I do, is just like, okay, when I'm going to learn from different martial arts, like, I go to 2 different martial arts schools and learn from 3 different martial arts instructors purposely, so I can help, build more strength within myself. Like, it's those places of uncomfort in multiple aspects of our life is what helps us truly grow. If we continue to stay with the same people all the time, doing the same thing day in, day out, right? We're not growing, in my opinion. We're not moving any forward. We're just stagnant, and if anything, moving backwards. And I think for a lot of us, we need to get to that place where we start to embracing comfort or discomfort more.
I agree.
So.
I agree. And I've been talking a lot more recently in my life right now about the work that we do, working with people, whether it's personal training, whether it's working with kids, whatever it is. There's so much value in working with people. And you mentioned going to different dojos and training with different instructors. The perspectives that you gain from working just with a wide variety of people and just being open to listening and learning from different people, I think is just so invaluable. And man, I love your energy. I love your vibe. I want people to be able to take that in as well. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Warrior Marlon. They can also find me on Facebook, Marlon Robert Wilson. I think it's Marlon Wilson on LinkedIn, or Marlon Robert Wilson. I can't remember. Can find me also on YouTube. I'm on there as well. Quest for Freedom Podcast. That's one of my channels. Or I think it's just Marlon Wilson on YouTube. Check any of those. I'm not a hard guy to find. Straight up transparency. Like, if you want to find me, you know what? My phone number is right on Instagram. Like, it's on Facebook. Like that phone number is my business line. That's my personal phone. Like, you want to get in touch with me? Seriously, it's not hard. Like, if you really want to understand more of my life and to get to know me and to know how I got to this place and what value and skills I can have to share with you, or even if I don't, maybe I know somebody that can help you. I love to just help you feel a sense of freedom in your life. That's what I'm about. Because I know for me, being free is number one. I have to feel free in all aspects of my life. If I feel contained, I don't feel that sense of freedom, I'm not living. And when I think back, like, my favorite movie is still Braveheart, because at the end of it, when he says freedom, he was dying for his principles, his values. And he's like, you could have all the titles, all these, they don't matter. If you don't have a sense of freedom, it means nothing. Like, I see some people that they, like, oh, I'm going to spend all this money, get this certificate or get this title. And I'm like, yeah, but do you feel free? Do you feel alive? If you don't feel alive, you're not living. You're just existing. You're slowly dying. And in fact, if people have to understand, we're dying every single day. It's just about how fast and in what ways. How do you plan on living? You know what? Are you living in a situation where you're happy? If you're not, my question is are you going to keep doing that? Are you going to feel satisfied when you're sitting in your rocking chair years from now looking back? I feel fulfilled in the things I did. Are you happy with that? If you're not, that might be something that you might need to take a look at, because you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and you have to deal with that. And that's what I look at in the decisions I make in my life. When I'm making decisions, I don't just fly the seat of my pants. There's a reason behind it. If you want to know the reason, just come and ask me. I'm more than happy to share.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Whew. Well, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome, brother.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. I love doing these.
I love our conversations.
Yeah,
so
ditto.
We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yes.
But make sure you guys check out Marlon on all his social medias. Connect with him. I know you're open to connect with people. So
totally.
Yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome,
and
man.
Thanks to everybody for listening and watching. And we'll see you in our next episode.